I am not me, I am art, and I currently find myself here, in this beautiful apartment on Park Avenue in New York City. I am staying here in between my cross-country road trip and finding a more permanent place to live within this fair city, and a more beautiful refuge I can't imagine. But just the fact that I am physically, spiritually and emotionally exhausted mean that I will stop creating. You must be loco. No, I shall be using my time here naturellement to take an in-depth look at some of the artworks I find. This is Travelart. What we have here are some rectangles, wider than they are tall, each one becoming a brick of sorts in the resultant wall. The colours are very bold but random. There's no pattern to them, which kind of mirrors life in a way. Seems on first glance to be very ordered, but really it's just a mess. But if we look towards the top of this picture, we might just find something interesting. Yes, indeed, look up here at the top. The ink has run out. The printer ink has run out, which means that this whole picture has been printed with a printer. We can see it down here when we get up close. The colours are speckled as the printer ink tries and fails to make it all the way across the picture. And yet, this is still framed, it is still hung, it is still displayed, which tells us that in art, often the attempt carries as much artistic merit as the final piece. It's why bloopers are so very, very funny. So if you find yourself struggling artistically with some kind of self-confidence issue, just remember this work of art and the lesson that it teaches you, that you are printer ink. And I'm sure that will solve it. We have a diptych here, a pair of paintings that are linked and they can kind of compare and contrast against each other, which is actually a pretty nice technique if you find that you have completed a painting that you look at and you think, oh, this doesn't actually represent my best work. Just do another painting, similar, not the same, but similar, change a couple of things about it, and then claim that it was always supposed to be two. Because if there are two paintings, then people aren't going to look quite so hard at each individual one. Just a little tip. This first picture here, we have a young lady, possibly a Greek, sitting down with her back against some kind of marble pillar, looking out across what my gut tells me is the Aegean Sea. The bright, bold colours from the water and the lady's dress create a wonderful Mamma Mia-esque feeling of heat and breeze. But in this second picture, disaster strikes. We see the young lady's legs, her dress, her very being start to disintegrate before our very eyes. And why has this tragedy befallen her? Because she chose to stand up. These two pictures teach us that sometimes the very best thing we can do is have a sit down and then stay sat down. Very rarely is standing better than sitting. And gents, if you don't believe me, have a sit down wee and tell me I'm lying. The scene depicted is rural and placid. The line work is bold, the colours even more so. But what is this artwork really all about? Well, simply put, it's about snobbery. It's about the disdain that people within the art community have for those outside the art community. The disdain that they have for, with all due respect, you. Yeah, you. And why do I think/know this? Because the entire artwork is cellophaned. Yeah, that's right. It's wrapped in cellophane. From frame to frame, It's cellophane. So unconfident that the average man on the street would be able to appreciate their art without spilling a beer onto it, or coughing some pie onto it, or wiping their sticky, honey-glazed fingers all over it, that they have opted to make this art wipe clean. This art is now protected from you. You scumbag. Hey, their words. And there we go. 3 outstanding works of art and 3 outstanding analyses from this beautiful apartment in Park Avenue in New York City. The next time you travel, keep your eyes peeled for some travel art of your very own. If you want, you could take a photo of it, email it to me, and I'd be happy to critique it for you. But which artworks will my travels take me to next time? I don't know.